Hi, friends!
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
We were originally presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch, but we're doing something a little different. But Zach, we're doing a podcast?
We are doing a podcast.
I did it this time.
You did do it this time. It threw me off. Something's not right. But don't worry. We're still bringing you an excellent little podcast and a little movie podcast, but we're finishing up a little bit of a diversion we did because we went on vacation.
We did go on vacation. We went on a Disney cruise.
It was a dream.
The Disney Dream.
The Disney Dream.
The 5-night Halloween-themed Disney Dream cruise. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From the 15th of October to the 20th of October.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of friends, both new and old. We made a lot of experiences, and we've been recording each day, but now we are going to go ahead and talk about our disembarking and our just overall opinion on the cruise as a whole.
Yeah, so how we're going to do this episode, we will both give our collective thoughts of the cruise, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite things, such as like food and everything. Then we are going to give our review, and that's when we will describe how we do things for the review.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Zach.
Yeah.
Would you like to give your first thoughts on, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your second cruise, but it's your first Disney cruise.
Correct. That is right.
Yep.
So, big thing I was nervous about is, will a Disney cruise live up to the expectations that were already set by Carnival? And I can say, yes, they did. They met and exceeded. There was a lot to do as well. There was a little bit of, I wish that there was a little bit more that was suited for adults, but everything that there was still like family friendly. I still wanted to do. There was like a ton of trivia that we got to do. There was a whole ton of, like, a lot of things that we got to do. So overall, I thought it was a whole lot of fun.
Very nice. Well, this was my first ever cruise.
Yeah.
Disney Carnival, first ever Disney cruise experience for me, and I gotta say, Disney delivered to the best of their ability. I've never had that much fun on any kind of vacation. I will also say I probably wish I could have done a little bit more. However, I was kind of in that process of taking it all in.
Yeah.
Because first time on a ship, first time at sea, first time doing something Disney related outside of Walt Disney World.
Yep.
It was a lot to take in the first 24 hours of that.
Sure.
So I just have to say, Disney, I can totally understand why Disney got into the Disney cruise branch, because it is amazing what they do. So yeah, props to Disney. Oh, by the way, we are Disney cast members, so we do not speak for the brand of the company, and our thoughts are our own.
That they are.
Yeah.
Good catch there. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, so we kind of talked about our first thoughts right there, so we'll go ahead and move on to our 3 favorite things that we did coming out of this cruise. Mitch, do you want to go ahead and talk about your 3 favorite things since this was your first cruise?
I would love to. Thank you for letting me. So first things first, have to talk about the fireworks show. I never thought it was possible for a fireworks show to almost do better than an actual fireworks show on one of the Disney parks, but it delivered by far one of the best fireworks shows I've ever seen on the 7 seas. I mean, literally. Well, and not just the fact that it was just a fireworks show, they added a kind of a stage show aspect to it, and it was really, really fun to see some of the things that they did that led into the fireworks show.
Sure.
Which you don't see that other than like a Phantasmic or something like that. But to see it on the ship, I'm just disappointed that you didn't get a chance to see it.
No, and you talk about this fireworks show like the entire time when we were on this cruise, because it happened relatively early on in the cruise. So you kept on coming back to it. I was like, man, food poisoning really killed me there.
Yeah. But fireworks show was by far the best. Second would definitely be all the stage shows. I don't want to talk about them way too much, because I feel like if I did, you wouldn't get a chance to talk about them, because I'd be here all day. But the stage shows were just Broadway-esque, Disney-esque, and I just have to say, I just wish there were more stage shows like that.
Yeah.
in the Disney World and Disneyland theme parks.
Gotcha.
So that's the end of that. And the theming.
Yeah.
I've never seen this much theming from anything, not just Disney, but anything. There was a pirate night, there was a Halloween night, and I'm just like, I want to do like more themed Disney cruises, like the
Sure.
Marvel, like Pixar. I think they're planning to do a Star Wars.
Yep,
one,
they're already doing Star Wars Days at Sea.
But I just want to do more like themed cruises because
Sure.
this was so fun. All right, so those are my 3 favorites. Zach, what are yours?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the animation classes that they did on the ship. I participated in 2 of them. The first one was on Pirate Night, which was Pirate Stitch. That one was a whole lot of fun. And then on the last day of the cruise, like right before like the final show, I was able to get one more animation class in, and it was Baby Yoda or Grogu that we drew. And it was fun to see just where I kind of grew from Stitch to Grogu, because there was actually like quite a bit of a difference I felt in between the two. And the same host hosted both of them, and I really enjoyed him. He was a whole lot of fun. And whenever I think back on the cruise, that's just one thing that really sticks out in my mind. So I really had a whole lot of fun doing those animation classes.
That's really good that you enjoyed those. That it shows that you really enjoy like some of the animation qualities that Disney like wants to put out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a way to kind of keep the Disney movie and animation brand still inside the cruise line, which I thought was a whole lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that I really very much enjoyed was snorkeling over at Castaway Cay. That was
Key.
But yeah, it's said both ways, so it really doesn't matter which way you say it. But the snorkeling over there was a whole lot of fun, I have to say. The things that I got to see, I actually felt, because like I'm a decent swimmer. I'm not a bad swimmer. I'm not a great swimmer, but like I'm a decent. I can hold my own. So the fact that I could still hold my own and go and see all these things and have fun, I really enjoyed that, and that was something I was looking forward to on the cruise, and something that I kind of delivered on, and especially at only $34, definitely recommend. And then the final thing that I do want to bring in is the entertainment. Everything from as small as a meet and greet all the way up to their stage shows was phenomenally done. All of the meet and greet characters did a phenomenal job of storylining, because that was one thing I was really worried about, was I felt like these meet and greets were just pretty much going to be a signature picture and done. Just because of how few character meet and greets, like they scheduled the meet and greets on the Disney Cruise Line app, which if you don't download that app, it's a disservice to you on your cruise line.
I will agree.
Please have that downloaded. But they have them all scheduled out. But I was worried that, because they list them as like only meeting for like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, so I was like, you really don't have a whole lot of time to meet a lot of friends. But I feel like it's just like the line itself is open for like 15 or 30 minutes and they close it off at that time. So as long as you like get in line by the end of that 15 minutes, you still will see that character, kind of a thing, I think is how they were kind of running it.
I think that's exactly how they ran it.
And then you get to the stage shows, which is amazing. Each show I felt got better and better, which they kept on marketing Beauty and the Beast as like their big spectacle show, but I believe was their best show. The entertainment was really wonderful. And then a side note, a lot of the activities are actually run by the entertainment cast members as well. Mm-hmm. So like your trivia is run by entertainment cast members, the animation is run by entertainment cast members, the game shows are run by entertainment cast members. Entertainment spans very big on a cruise ship, which I really love. So I was really happy to see that entertainment had a big span and part into the cruise line experience.
Very good. So we have some other things that we like to talk about. So obviously we weren't able to talk about the last day,
mm-hmm.
quote unquote, because we had to get off the ship.
Yeah.
We had to disembark. And it was super simple. Disney makes it really easy for you to disembark the ship. You are allowed to eat breakfast. We decided to eat, was it in the Enchanted
Garden? Yeah.
We decided to eat there for breakfast because we had eaten there for dinner and they opened it up for breakfast for us. Or you could have just went to the cabana. We could have went to the cabanas, but we decided in order to waste some time because we didn't need to go anywhere until like 4 or something like that.
Yeah, we our Greyhound bus didn't really leave until like 3 o'clock. It left a little bit late due to some maintenance issues, but
it didn't bother us.
It didn't really bother us at all. But we knew we had time to kill, so we decided to kind of take our time, and we also didn't. One thing that I definitely recommend, if you don't have a lot of luggage with you, I recommend keeping your luggage and not leaving it out the night before. But that way it's just a little bit quicker to get off the boat and everything, and you just have your luggage with you.
Yeah, but it was super simple to just get off the boat.
Yeah, but how they actually disembark you is the night before, after your room cleaning, they give you a luggage tag with a character on it. It's a color and a character. We had orange Goofy.
That's right.
And as the morning went through, the PA system would go off and would say, now all guests with pink Daisy are able to disembark. Right. Now all guests with red Mickey can disembark. And on all the panels that would normally say like activities coming up or whatnot, it would display which ones were called and what new ones were added. So that was a really fun way to like see exactly where you're what had been called and whatnot.
Yeah, but what we do after, Zach?
Yeah, so after we got off the ship, we started kind of meandering towards Miami, but towards like we didn't know exactly if we were gonna walk all the way to the Greyhound or if we were gonna take the train again. So we decided to start walking, and on our way we were like, okay, let's get some lunch, which we finally got our Cubano sandwiches, which I loved. I very much enjoyed my Cubano finally. It was just a small little stop shop, which was nice. And then on our way, I noticed, because I'm a huge Van Gogh fan, that an immersive Van Gogh experience was in town. So I was like, all right, how about that? Let's go ahead and do that. I personally loved it. I love the immersive Van Gogh experiences. My favorite still out of the now 3 that I've done, including the one that we went to in Miami, I like the Van Gogh Alive experience, which took place in St. Pete, Clearwater. At the Dali Museum, which I'm not a huge fan of Salvador Dali, but I really loved Van Gogh's interactive experience. This one is a solid second. It had an actual exhibit in front, which the other 2 really didn't that I went to, and that part was intriguing. And it had like the stateroom as like a live set, which was kind of fun to take pictures in, and it was really, really nice. And they actually spent like a nice amount of time with some of the paintings. However, they focused for me too much on specific individual paintings for too long, where I felt like they had nice animatics, but they were just not going as fast enough through and moving to the next painting, to the next painting, to the next painting as quickly as possible. So I thought that they spent a little bit too much time on those.
Well, yeah, I think I have to agree. I kind of fell asleep during a little bit of the Van Gogh experience, but it was still solid. But one thing I want to talk about, now that you're finished, let's talk about the ship of the Disney Dream.
Yeah.
It was massive. Big ship. It I don't know if it was it was around the same size as the majority of the other ships in the port, but I really just... The amount of people that can fit on that ship blows my mind. Yeah. And just how big and how much time that was spent.
Well, and the amazing thing is that with the amount of people that can fit, I believe we looked it up, it was like about 4,000 people that can fit on the ship as guests, and then I think like 1,000 crew members, I think it was roughly. So, one thing that I thought was interesting is that I never felt crowded on the ship.
I never did either.
It was there was like a decent amount of people, and I think the most crowded area was the pool area. Yeah. But I was never felt crowded in a hallway. Nope. I never felt like there was too many people in an area. Nope. Even coming off of COVID, like I felt still like relatively safe.
I did too.
It was actually very well balanced.
Yeah, I will agree with you 100%. Now that we mentioned a little bit of the ship, so the ship does need a little bit of a fresh repaint, though. I think,
yeah, I think it could use a little bit of repainting. I don't know, because on the back of the ship, Disney's known for having like character statues on the back. On the Dream, it's Sorcerer Mickey and the Broomsticks from Fantasia, which is really, really fun. I don't know if Mickey's eyes were intentionally closed or if it just needed a repaint.
I think it needs a repaint.
But I think he needs a little bit of new touch of paint. And some of the floorboards you can kind of see have been a little water soaked as well. Mm-hmm. So I feel like those could kind of be a little bit taken care of. But overall, like, the inside of the ship was still very immaculate. It was always really well cleaned. I always at one point saw at least someone like vacuuming or sweeping or dusting. So like it's very well maintained and taken care of.
Let's talk about the islands really quick too. I spent some time in the Grand Cayman. I think I spent about an hour.
I spent all that time on the ship because I was not feeling good for that one. So I really can't say much about it, but
it was fine.
It was fine.
It's just I probably should have went a little bit further into the island, but I had no desire to be on the Grand Cayman at all. So sadly, I didn't spend as much time as I probably should on the Grand Cayman Island, but again, I just didn't have any desire to be there in the first place.
No,
so
I understand that.
But Castaway Cay, phenomenal. I love that place. It was, for the most part, well kept.
Yeah.
Food there was okay, but I feel like it was the scenery for me. Like, it felt like an actual island from, like, Pirates of the Caribbean or something.
Sure.
Like, I really would believe that people are able to stay there, and I'm like, wow, this is a privately owned Disney island. Like, this is really cool. But what do you think of Castaway Cay?
I thought Castaway Cay was nice. Now, granted, we really didn't do much because, again, we didn't do very much in the way of like activities in terms of like excursions and whatnot. No. But that was my one excursion, was doing the snorkeling. So I spent a lot of time on Castaway Cay doing snorkeling. It was a whole lot of fun. I really did enjoy that aspect, but really in terms of like what we actually did down there wasn't a whole lot. So I feel like we also didn't explore Castaway Cay as much as we could have. But at the same time, I don't think that there was much really offered because you kind of go there to enjoy the beach mostly. Yeah. So if you're really not a beach person, there is, I'm sure, like some activities that are still for you.
Oh, there is.
But you would probably do those activities and probably then head back to the ship.
But let's talk about the crew.
Oh yeah,
the crew. But literally a chef's kiss. Every single crew member on that ship deserves a lot.
Yeah,
because they did so well.
Oh yeah, you do feel the Disney cast member touch on this because every crew member seems extremely happy to be there. I felt a lot of new blood on this ship because I think we saw a bunch of earning your ear groups going around the ship multiple times throughout the time. And I feel like it was just maybe the refresh of a new contract, I think, happened recently. So I think because how cruise lines work is that you're contracted for like a month, 6 months, a couple weeks. You take on a contract. So you're constantly changing over hands of the ship. Right. So I think that kind of also helps with the life of the ship is that like, since you're not on there contractually for very long, you have a beginning and an end date, so you try to make the most of it. So I feel like that kind of brings in a little bit more life to the cruise because you know that as a crew member, you're not going to be there for very long. No.
All right. So that's the end of that. So it's time, my friends. It's time to hear our review. And the way that we split it up is we have 3 categories. We finally have the dog back.
Hi, Jazz, you're back.
Yeah. So we have feed it to the dog, Jazz. Meaning we did not enjoy this cruise at all, which you can probably tell from the way we were talking. That's not what it's gonna be. Meaning we didn't enjoy the cruise at all. We still recommend you do it, but form your own opinion. We also need to cook a little more. Meaning we probably should have done something a little bit differently, or they may need to offer something else, or maybe a fresh coat of paint or something like that.
Sure.
Or we eat it up, meaning we enjoyed this and it was great. We definitely recommend you take a Disney cruise or just a cruise in general. All right.
Yeah.
Can I go first?
Yeah, you can. This is your first cruise, so I'm really excited to hear what you have to say.
I am going to bring out one of the Phantom ones, and I'm going to say this is a clean plate for me.
Ooh! Okay.
Literally, this is the best. I mentioned earlier, this is the best vacation I've ever had. So I'm not going to waste any time. This was a clean plate for me. I enjoyed my time thoroughly. There was so much to do. The food was phenomenal, except for Castaway Cay food was okay, but that's just, I knew that was coming. But, oh my gosh, from the entertainment to the food to the atmosphere, to the water. I mean, clean plate for me.
So, so I kind of knew what to expect coming on in, because again, this isn't my first cruise. First cruise with Disney, but not my first cruise overall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to just say I ate it up.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna say now. If you're wondering, as a kind of like short review, I also ate up my Carnival cruise.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to put it into a review, so I put them kind of on the same. But if I had to like say which one I preferred one over the other, I think I would prefer Disney over Carnival.
Okay.
But I will make this one caveat. Now, maybe I'm a bit biased because I got food poisoning. I will say I prefer Carnival's food, whether quick service or in the dining room, better than Disney's. I thought the food quality at Carnival's was a lot better and noticeably better than Disney's.
Okay.
So I think Disney can actually do a little bit better on their food, and Carnival also had 24-hour food. Ice cream was available 24/7. Burgers and pizza and fries were available 24/7. With Disney, they do cut it off at 11 o'clock at night. Like, the ship is technically open at 24 hours, so it's not like you are like can't do anything, because you can walk around the ship after 11, but nothing is open. So I do miss that from Carnival, in the fact that at 11 o'clock it's done. You're done. You gotta go to sleep. So I do wish that was also included from Disney. So I think that if Disney takes that feedback, they can actually get a clean plate from me on that.
Nice. Well, that's our review of the Disney cruise. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening, my friends. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and just let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear what you have to say. We'd love to hear some feedback. Or maybe you want us to do another cruise, whether it's Carnival or Norwegian or anything.
We'd love to go on another cruise, and we're looking at options because we did genuinely have a lot of fun together.
We did.
Again, we have different vacationing styles, but I feel like a cruise is the perfect way to have different vacation styles and still have like enough space to do things together and separate. So,
yeah, absolutely.
But we do have one surprise for you. I know in our first episode we said that we were going to do a B-roll every single episode. We unfortunately did not capture that much to do it, but at the end of this episode, we have our B-roll for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy your B-roll, but until that time, I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
The rattling balls, the bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling balls, the bog down in the valley, oh.
Ready? Yep.